Mama Ru, I would like to, in fact, extend my kindness and generosity to one of my sisters.
Just because there's a twist, don't make this episode less equal. I'm Anna Rumor with PopCulture.
And I'm Nick Valdez from comicbook.com.
And this is Social Call, where we offer our unfiltered opinions about RuPaul's Drag Race, because it's our civic duty. We are going in on the 10th episode of season 16 of RuPaul's Drag Race, and we are getting out, we are getting inspired, we are voting. Nick, what did you think of this week's kind of politically motivated anthem episode?
So was this the politics episode? I guess, right?
I guess.
We have one every 4 years for obvious reasons we won't get into here, of course, but, you know... I guess this was the politics one. Usually it's like a debate or, you know, we get the classics like look over there or something like that, right? But here, I guess this is it. I guess.
I guess. We very lightly brushed over the idea of voting. So I guess this is it.
Living in a country where our rights should be equal. Just because I'm gay don't make me less equal.
But let's talk about the challenge for this week, where it's the new song Power. Our girls have to get out there. They've got to write a verse. They've got to perform. And I like the song. I'll say that. What did you think of the song in general?
Yeah, it makes me want to go see the Work the World tour.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. It's like very funky, very fun. Some of the girls had varying levels of success when it came to writing their verses. So let's get into kind of their individual performances and how we thought they did. Let's start with Dawn. What did you think about Dawn's performance? Because, yeah. Right?
I wasn't expecting them to be so nice about it, you know, because she tried really hard, and I guess she gets credit for trying. She gets a lot of credit for trying.
Since when?
There
this
you
is a
go.
competition show. Since when are we getting A's for participation? Not to sound like, you know, like participation trophy-ish, but like this is really a competition show, and they were so nice about her bad verse and her inability to dance.
100%, I agree, because you know her lyrics were also a bit complicated. Like she's very brave for putting all of her mental health issues out there.
For sure.
It takes a lot to actually come forward with all that stuff. It's just, you only have like 3 lines in your verse, and it felt very complex for how tight of a space it was. And then, you know, she was trying in her performance. So I don't know. They treated her with kid gloves this week.
They really did. And speaking about like the content of her verse, kudos to her for talking about mental health, very important. And this comes up with the girls later in the episode. I thought this was supposed to be about like voting and civic participation. And a lot of these girls were talking about literally anything other than that. And maybe I'm misunderstanding what the challenge was, but like what does this have to do with like registering to vote? I don't know.
At least her lyrics rhymed. Right? Because then next you get Maya.
Hey, listen, does equal not rhyme with equal?
Equal does not equal equal.
What happened to her verse skills? Because the girl group challenge, she slayed, and this one, she really did just rhyme equal with equal, even though several people were like, I don't know if that's the best choice.
I know there was word online about Megami, like, you know, maybe ghostwriting all of their lyrics, and I kind of believe it now.
Yeah, tinfoil hat is on. It was so funny, though. That's Maya's charm, is that, like, something about her, me watching her sing those 2 little lines that were basically the same thing and both going equal at the end, that made me laugh. I know it's not good, but it was funny, and I don't know. I'm willing to give her credit for kind of anything, even that Oompa Loompa wig.
It's the same thing with Dawn, right? Since we're giving Dawn credit for trying, we should give Maya credit for also trying. Then you have Morphine coming in, just knocking out of the park, like completely. Like, her lyrics are another issue. I didn't quite get everything she said. I didn't get the nuance of every little thing, but she looked good, so I didn't really care.
That's kind of where I was. Like, I liked the cadence of her verse. It had like a funky little beat. It fit in the song. I really struggle to hear a lot of the lyrics when I'm watching these verse challenges. I feel like they just don't mix them very well. But so I didn't catch all the words, but it sounded great. She looked so good. I mean, she looked like a pop star and she slayed the dance moves. So I thought she was at the top this week for sure.
Which is why, we'll get to when we get to that, right?
Yeah. We got a lot to say about that. Speaking of that, what did you think about Nymphia's she really struggled this week with the lyrics.
Another one where I believe the Megami thing. I'm like, oh, okay, Megami obviously helped with this, and she could have used her help this time too. I'm so tired of the banana. I think it's run its course with me, and I know I say that in the same episode that, she has that brilliant runway with, but at the same time, like, I'm reaching my limit here.
No, I'm the same way, where it's like she came out, she looked amazing, the dancing was great, the verse was whatever, but the bananas.
And then we have Plain, who, once again, has the same silhouette she does a lot of the time with the whole, the bodysuit thing and the thigh-high boots, and she looked great. She did look like a pop star. I will say that. I do agree with that. But once again, her lyrics were like, just completely off the board. It's very saucy lyrics, which is fine. That's who she is. But once again, this is supposed to be a empowerment thing to tell people to go vote. And I didn't really get that from her.
I had the same feeling. I thought they were going to kind of read her for that because she, like you said, she went more of a spicy direction than being like, we should band together. For me, the issue was more about like, she was trying to squeeze so many words into such a limited time. And the judges read her for this later. They said she seemed nervous. I don't think she seemed nervous. I thought she seemed like she was like rushing.
I do agree that we're finally starting to see the little cracks in her performances. And, but like with Dawn, they just gave her a lot of credit for doing it, which is it was a running theme this week where people just got credit for doing things.
What did you think about Q though? Because I did cackle when she was recording her verse and like really given her pop star fantasy there to notes only previously known by dogs.
Speaking of, my dog started barking when Q was like doing the note and howling a bit, and my dog like woke up from his sleep and just started going. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I was like, I'm so sorry.
But now he's gonna register to vote.
Yeah, I mean, it woke up the populace, right? So it did its job. The engineers really helped Q here. They really did, because I was expecting something way worse than what we got. And Q looked fabulous. So that was the other thing. Like, Q really did have the best look out of all of them, because it was so different. It was so like, I don't know, Beatles, I guess? Like, what was the...
Very Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts. Yeah. Okay, thank you for that. Because I was like, oh, this is evoking a specific kind of a performance for me. But I was like, Freddie Mercury? Not really. But I loved the outfit too. And I agree that like the sound engineers, for really not helping Dawn out, they really did help Q out, which felt a little... tinfoil hat-y.
Yes.
And then her dancing is always wild. I was cracking up watching her like come up and do this line circle. It's so funny.
So Q is the one person I will give credit for trying. That's the other thing is, Q knows she's a bad dancer and we all know it by now, but there's one thing you can say is that she does go out there and do it. So, that's where I give the Dawn treatment. Where like, no, you actually do get credit for going out there and doing it.
That's true, because we see a lot of bad dancers go out there and be so self-conscious that it's like uncomfortable to watch them be bad. Q doesn't seem self-conscious at all. She really is going out there and like roboting her way around, and it doesn't make me feel cringe to watch her dance. It's just kind of funny.
Then you get people like Saphira, who just comes out there. It's like, oh, so this is the challenge they made for Saphira to win. They even give her like a solo moment when they're all kind of dancing together, and it's like, yeah, this was hers from the jump, and it's good to see her actually knock it out of the park.
Stellar voice. Great dancer. Like, I admire her knees in ways that I didn't know was possible. She looked amazing in that jumpsuit. And you know what her lyrics were about? Civic participation and voting, which is what we've been told this whole challenge was about.
Who would have guessed it'd be such a novel concept, right?
So that's Power. That's our new civic participation anthem. We love it. Go out and register to vote if you haven't. And we have our runway that comes up next, True Colors. First up, we've got Maya coming out in the red, like, nude illusion-y gown with the lace and the feathers. I thought she looked really beautiful, like spicy.
Yeah. Clearly she knows red is her color, and she looks great. I love the sheer look on her too. Like, it was something with the goth look that I really loved, but I'm glad here it's embracing it more. I was hoping she did more of a peacock situation, maybe like more of a showgirl, have giant feathers in the back kind of thing, because they're there and they're fine, but I don't know, more drama, maybe?
Yeah, she had like a little chicken tail instead of like a beautiful peacock tail. I agreed with that. Was the one thing that I would have changed. And maybe she had her bang in front was like a little off. But again, I love Maya, so she can have bangs wherever she wants them. Although it's unfair to put anyone before Nymphia, because any look kind of cheapens when she walks out in this very glamorous Chiquita banana outfit. I know I just said I hated the bananas, but man, you can't hate them when she's this good.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm like, how dare you? In the same episode, I was like tired of her shtick. She comes out in the shtickiest outfit yet, where it's full banana glamour, and I was 1000% with it.
Unparalleled on the runway. So is Plain, honestly. She's had barely any misses this season, and this kind of green cracked gown was another one. I thought she looked so stunning. She looked like a goddess, like a lightning goddess or something.
Oh, I loved it. I love that the lightning bolt breaks the glass in her gown too, and then like she had the little detail of like a lightning bolt in her hair. I do feel like it was a bit naked. I don't know what I would have added either. That's my thing. I don't know what I would have added there in her neck area, but it felt like she's missing that bit of like glamour drama.
I agree. I feel like she should have had the glass like come up off the gown and like maybe onto her face and neck, or like that would have been super cool. Yeah. And then I also wanted a little bit of like a bigger or more dramatic hair with it.
Yeah, maybe more of the lightning bolt, you know, because it was a little fine detail, and it's very fashion, but maybe it needed a bit more of that theater bit with it. But she looked good.
Well, next up though, we have Saphira, who, again, bag weight limits who? Because man, how does she even pack this?
The unfortunate thing about, you know, her maybe going to the top is that we'll never get to see her pack, right? In Untucked.
I know, right? I want to see her load all of her costumes into this like industrial tanker.
Just regal, like just royalty, just rich, just fabulous. I wish I had more like just adjectives for it. She just looked so good. And of course they called out the Marge Simpson for the hair, but I was thinking let them eat cake type stuff like Marie Antoinette. And it's just, what a look.
We've got Dawn coming out as this like kind of spooky, scary bedtime friend. This is the Dawn that I thought I was gonna get when we had the Meet the Queens, and I was so excited for her. I'm thrilled that she finally showed up.
This is my favorite Dawn look by far. The whole sleep paralysis demon, but cute, you know, but still super cute and like still fashionable with like the cutout thighs and you know the long tail, and it was just, It's a great look. A high concept that actually reads as what it's supposed to be, instead of me going, oh, is it just too much? Is it a concept that she could have edited? Or this one is just perfect. I loved it.
On the other hand, I felt like Q kind of took a step back this week. Not that I didn't love the hat. The hat is amazing. The hat
Love the hat.
I wish I could walk around in that hat. That would be amazing. You never have to make eye contact with a stranger ever again. and the pants were great. Those were super cool. I love that she made them. For me, it's where we lost it was the top. The bikini top like wasn't filled out in any way, so it was just like loose, dented in, and then the sleeves looked a little like cheap. I don't know. Am I being too hard on her?
No, I loved the hat. Yeah. I think I was just so distracted by the hat that like I don't really like the rest of the look. Yeah. Lavender is a great look for her in general, but that hat, that hat kind of won it for me. So I guess that's what it is. I was just and it did its job. It's supposed to be distracting and
yeah, right. It hid the bikini top for most of us, and that's what it should do. I thought a much more successful purple look was Morphine's. She was giving me Pam Anderson with this fuzzy hat, and the dress was beautiful on her, but I don't really know what it was, if that makes sense.
It was very like MTV Awards, circa like 2003 or something like that. Just one of those looks, just a total red carpet kind of look, but also red carpet at like 3 p.m. where...
Oh, Nick. Oh, Nick. That's shady.
I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's just that's the vibe I got, where, they're interviewing people and it's broad daylight outside. This is the look you'd see. And but I don't mean it in a bad way. Like, she looked absolutely gorgeous, but it's on that Pam Anderson kind of vibe where it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like you're a daylight celebrity, I would say. So once again, I'm trying to say this is not...
So do you like it?
I do. That's the thing. I say all this to say this is my favorite Morphine look. She looks so good.
We'll take it in the best possible way that you could mean it.
It's now or never, baby.
Plain finally using her immunity potion to save Nymphia Wind. What did you think of her actually using it? I thought she was gonna kind of do a fake out and Nymphia was gonna like go home or something.
I'm so shocked. Like, is Plain Jane really coming for the congeniality crown? I don't know. I would be shocked if she got it, but this was a wild move for me because Plain Jane really could have used it too. That was the thing. Like, it was this week, all the front winners were kind of in the bottom. It was really flipped. And maybe that's why we get what we get. But yeah, Plain really could have used it for herself. But it's that confidence. And confidence came back to bite her,
This is what I swore was going to happen once she did give the potion to Nymphia. I was like, oh, I can see this with the producer's eye. Plain didn't do perfect in this. They could justify putting her in the bottom with someone and then sending Plain home after she finally turns over her new leaf and is no longer a villain and does something good, and then they punish her for it. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. So imagine my surprise when literally no one goes home. No one's in the bottom. The judges are incredibly nice to everyone, and we get a lip sync for the win. Between Morphine and Saphira.
We sure did get a lip sync.
Serve.
Meghan Trainor made you look, it's not exactly Beyonce, but...
the PA who picked the song, I have a personal vendetta against them.
I was gagged when Saphira did that little twist and the skirt came off. I was just like, I don't know, my jaw hit the floor. This is what it takes to entertain me. I was just completely blown away. That's all it took. And I'm glad she did win it eventually. Yeah. But also, knowing going home is kind of weird, right? Like, this one felt super weird.
Why did they do that? There were people who could have been in the bottom. Maya rhymed equal with equal. Dawn pokeyed her way across the stage. Why are we not I mean, plain Jane, that's a perfect narrative use.
Yeah, I tried to avoid like the tinfoil hats. You know, I say that, but then please roll back all the times I put my tinfoil hat on. You know,
We just had ours on earlier this episode.
But this really felt like we can't put any of our top queens in the bottom, which seems super odd to me because
I know.
You know, it's one of them would have gone home. Yeah, Maya would have beat another top queen. Like if it were Maya and Plain Jane, Plain Jane probably would have gone home. And
that's true.
They don't want that. I think the sooner we accept that Plain Jane is like top 2, I think the better. We just kind of have to get over it and just watch her to the end. You know?
Exactly. Oh, you're so right. And it's tough because next week we've got this like drag awareness employee seminar challenge, which is like a public speaking challenge. And I'm putting I never took my tinfoil hat off, I guess. But I'm like, is this to send Maya home? You know she's shy and outgoing.
That's what it is. This was the one to like, I don't know. This was the Saphira challenge to make her win. This was to give her the win. And then, but now it means nothing because no one else went home. Immunity potions ended up meaning nothing this season because Saphira saved herself and Plain Jane saved Nymphia, and then no one went home at all. So I don't know, like this just felt like a weird episode. It really did.
It was a weird episode. I'm glad that we're encouraging people to go and register to vote and go and vote. And I guess that's kind of all I have to say about it, because otherwise, what are we doing here? I know what we're doing here, though. We are recapping Drag Race, and we will be back again next week to recap Maya's probably final episode. We love her so much, and no, I don't know anything. So join us here every single week. Like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below. I don't know. Are we off base? Was this a Slay episode? I don't think so. Until then, we will see you next time. Have a wonderful week, and thanks for watching.